The Amazon, the last call. To understand the problem of deforestation in the Amazon a bit better, we allied ourselves with some of the people most responsible for it. A hidden camera travels among us to the center of this cruel business, which governments deny, and which, as you can see, spreads even further in broad daylight. We have convinced a possible collaborator with the logging mafias to take us on a tour of the illegal sawmills in the central Amazon. He's afraid just as we are. Here, they don't only chop down trees, they cut off heads. And if they find out that we're journalists, it's possible, so we've been told, that we'll end up in a particle board, just like the cut timber we see piled up here. We finally get the tip we've been looking for weeks. An illegal shipment of hundreds of Amazon trees arrived this morning at the port. We went there, praying we wouldn't be seen. At 8:30 in the morning, at the edge of the Santarém port, we watched the unloading of the last remains of a tropical forest which they are destroying. We thought they must have informed the authorities as well as ourselves, since there were no police in sight. The Earth's lung is threatened by the worst cancer there is, indifference. We follow one of the 100 trucks that transport wood every day of the year, without the least trouble, along the highways of Santarém. Their load is 30 cubic meters of endangered trees, which, as we imagined, are processed and sold illegally in the same city. For years, our collaborator drove a truck like that one, and he reminds us that the sawmill it hides in is a joint Brazilian and Japanese venture, an international crime to which yet another day, more fresh wood is delivered. A few days later, we find ourselves deep in the labyrinth of this business. It begins here in this virgin rainforest, a paradise about to be raped, which they call Pozo Blanco. This expert in fine hardwood trees is known as an explorer in the logging industry. He is someone who goes into the forest to select the best trees. He marks the victim with this large knife and guides the rest of the gang. His work is highly valued by the sawmill owners, who request specific species, which he has to discover in this impenetrable tangle. His salary is less than $20 a day, but the profits made by the international mafia of precious woods are incalculable. We have infiltrated a work group that supplies one of the mafias that cuts the most wood and exports it outside the country. We've succeeded in the most important thing, that they forget the cameras watching them. Today, they are going to make a lot of money, and there's no police here either to prevent their assault on this defenseless forest. The botanical expert shows his crew members the way. A tree called a freixo, more than 100 years old, does not get much respect from these chainsaw mercenaries. This truck has an intense life, as does the logger who drives it. It certainly wouldn't pass vehicle inspection, but over the last 3 months, it has transported 3,000 cubic meters of timber. Perfectly organized and under a hierarchy fit for an assault commando, they prepare to increase the annual figures of Amazonian deforestation. They have to work quickly. The roar of their machinery can be heard kilometers away, and while they go unpunished, they know the law and that they could end up in jail for today's environmental crime. That's life, and also easy death. 5 minutes to wipe out a living being that was born before their grandparents were. As if cutting butter, these loggers amputate another member of the forest, shortening the life of the ancient Amazon. And then another. And another. Not only those marked by the explorer, but also 20 other species for each tree brought down. The original rainforest is a mixed environment. Some trees depend on others to grow. They keep each other company, and this indiscriminate cutting has just inflicted irreparable damage on an area 50 square meters around the felled tree. Each day, these 10 people cut down 150 trees, and they know the chainsaw has multiplied their output. Before, with just an axe, they got an average of half a cubic meter of wood a day. Today, they get 17 cubic meters. The people who pay them increase the demand for this rhythm. Like every dirty business, this one is also based on an unbreakable pact of silence.
Here in Brazil, this kind of interview is very dangerous for us. Very dangerous. Because there are a lot of killers who will murder you and your family.
Do you know of any cases?
Yes, of course. It's happened several cases. Xingu is where it happens the most. In Xingu, Altamira, throughout the Amazon, here, you can't talk about this. I'm doing it for you, but I'm risking my life. I lived with people who have disappeared, friends they killed for talking. Several groups of defenders of nature, protectors of the environment, disappeared in 2 or 3 months.
They say they will pay me very well so I won't talk to anyone, so I won't be interviewed or say where I'm exploring. They pay me to keep quiet, even if I were exploring for wood, and if I saw a person with a camera, I would have to stop my work.
Is it dangerous?
It's dangerous.
In the city of Santarém alone, we found 15 illegal sawmills that work 365 days a year. Foreign capital from countries like Holland, Japan, Canada, France, and Malaysia plays a big role in them. The Brazilian Amazon is an enormous cookie jar that everyone sticks their hands into, looking for trade alternatives to the forests of Southeast Asia or tropical Africa, which have been exhausted over the past 10 years. The Brazilian government admits that in the states of Pará and Amazonas, companies from Asia have invested at least $80 million in the logging industry. These same official sources also admit that 80% of the timber that Brazil sells is cut illegally, with over 2/3 of it wasted and made into sawdust or unusable struts. And future generations will feel the effects of this waste of a natural resource.
We do the same thing as a bandit who kills someone. It's the same thing to kill a tree, the same feeling. When you're cutting a tree, the sap, the tree's blood gushes out. You feel that you are killing a person. It bleeds as well. Many trees scream when you cut them down. They cry as they fall. They are dying because of you, and they scream when they fall, like a murdered person.